Well, hello everyone. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. Uh, I'm going to get back at the 60, but first I'm going to say I want to thank all the people who have viewed it and commented on this. It's almost a mini series already. I think there's 4 videos on it of me trying to get the 60 started for the first time this year. I mean, the number of views is just phenomenal for my little channel, and the comments, and I appreciate all the comments. Some of them are obvious, some of them are not quite as obvious. Most of them are things I already have checked, but I still appreciate all the comments because, as we all know, we're all human and we can miss the most obvious thing. Even the obvious stuff, it's good to be reminded of them because, as I proved last year, it's very easy to miss the most obvious. Because if you look back on the video of the first start last year, it wouldn't start at first, and it turned out I had taken the spark plug wires off the fall before and not putting them back on, and I never even looked on the other side of the engine to check. And a non-start issue can't be much more obvious than the plug wires off. So once again, I think we're going to get back at it here, and I'll go through what I'm going to try next. So let's see what we have here. We have 4 new plugs. That never hurts, because I've seen where plugs look good, but the other ones have carbon on them, and it might be following the carbon under compression, so the new plugs won't hurt any. But there was one or a number of comments mentioning the condenser, and that's easier said than done if you want to put an original condenser in. But I got a condenser because with hand cranking, it's just one at a time. It doesn't take much to keep it from firing. But when I was cranking it through with the H fast, maybe a poor condenser was acting up and disrupting the spark. So and I had thought about, condenser. Well, you don't just, because the condenser is way deep inside in the rotor, and it's a condenser, just a one-of thing, I believe, that fits these. But one man who mentioned the condenser made me think. I've wired in external condensers before. And if the old one isn't shorted, which it obviously isn't, I don't think, or you wouldn't get any spark. But if it's failing, I can wire another one to it, which should help. I've done it on pony motors on Caterpillar D4 already, wired in an external condenser, and it helped. And all of a sudden I thought, I can wire to here's a couple mags I pulled out of my stockpile, let's call it, and I can wire the external condenser into the ground button. That's where the ground for killing the engine would get hooked up to. And I can hook the condenser up to that and then get the condenser grounded. So that, I think, to me, is one of the best ideas as to why it might not be starting. It could just be dirty plugs, but I want to do this right away because it's going to be a help anyway. But this is this cap off my mag that's on it, and I thought I'm just going to bolt the condenser on here and hook the wire on there, and and it'd be done with. Well, I look at this cap, and the brass tab or whatever that's supposed to go and press on the center of the rotor, to make contact, is missing on there. So that's why I went up in my stockpile to get these other mags. Instead of having to make some kind of a brass tab, I'm going to take one of these off and see what that piece looks like. So get this stuff out of the way. And let's see if we can get one of these caps off of here. They're quite rusty. There, that turned. Now I'll take my vice grips hammer, tap on it. Well, I'm going to have to get something and tap on both sides. Let's give the other one a whirl, because I don't want to break any parts on these. Yeah, you wouldn't expect them to come right off. I'm going to have to get a drift so I can pound on the back side of these lips because I don't want to break that lever off. So I go find myself a drift and see if I can get one of those off. Well, I got myself a couple drifts or punches here. Now you notice they happen to look a lot like screwdrivers, but actually these are punches or drifts. And that ain't a plastic handle, that's a high-tech shock absorbing part on the drift to take a little bit of the shock out so you don't break parts as easily. So let's get our drift on there and see if we can get one of these caps off. They could really be stuck on there because we know how aluminum will corrode. Oh, it's moving. Now we'll go back to the other side. It's coming off. Should be off here in a second. And there the cover is, with the button in the middle. I'm going to take the other one off and see the condition of that one. This one appears to be coming off too. Well, maybe not. I thought it was moving, but I... It's coming now. Oh, I broke it. Oh, I went too far on one side. I mean, it'd still be usable, but I did crack it. See, I did crack it. I mean, I'll probably never need it. I'm sure there aren't, but I just hate it when I damage old parts. Boy, the button on this one doesn't show near the wear of the button on this one. I might see if I can get that out of there and put this button, clean it off, put that button on here. I think it's coming loose. Yep, it's coming out. We'll put this nut back on there. Even though it's cracked, you know me, I won't throw anything like this away. And now we can clean up that contact, and if that screw comes out, and you can just see, look at the amount of wear in this hole for the timing control compared to that one. This came off something that vibrated a lot more. I can't get the I like this one because it has a thumb screw for the ground wire. Now let's see if we can get that nut off. Look at that, I even got a wrench instead of using the vice grips. And that seems to be coming off. Good. Now I'm going to take this screw on the wire wheel and clean it up good. And I'll clean that contact button off. And then that should go on there and we should be able to put it right back together. So I'll be right back. Now I cleaned this up with a wire brush, but I'm going to sand it anyway. Get it down here on the surfacing table. I'm going to call that good. I hope this is working in the light. So, put that on there. Get my insulator. Put it in there. Oh. Little parts. Put this insulator in there. And sand that washer. Put the washer on. Now we'll get the nut on and cleaning both sides of that too. I'm sure that'll make contact. Put that brass nut on. Tighten it down. And now we have a contact in the center. Now put the condenser on, it just barely fits on there. I was thinking I might have to trim this insulation back a little bit so it doesn't pinch in between. Trim this insulation back a little. It just fits on there, kind of threads on. Now, I lose stuff so fast. There it is. It's teeny tiny washer, lock washer, whatever you want to call them. That's steel, it's rusty. Probably better off just to put the brass nut on. But we'll put this back in there. Oh, it broke. So it's just going to hit the brass nut. Now when I get to it, I can put a ground wire on here with a kill button. I probably will eventually. So far I've always just been shutting it off by turning the gas off, and I like to have the carburetor dry. Now I'll get the condenser bolted to there, and we should be good to go. Sand this too. Now I have to find some kind of little bolt and some washers because that hole's so big to bolt it on there, and that should do it. I'm gonna go looking for a little bolt for that now. Well, everyone, I'm back at the end of the day now. I found a interesting screw here to mount the condenser on there, but I'll run a ground wire from here to the magneto housing. If you look at one of these, I'll probably go down to one of the screws down on the bottom if they come out, or one that holds the cap on the backside, because you might not get a good ground through here, and the condenser has to have a good ground. So this is all I'm going to get done today. If you saw my short I posted today, I had to take off and go buy something I shouldn't have, probably. But I always kind of wanted a Farm All M, and for the price I paid, it has an M&W 9-speed in it, so that's why I decided on that one. So thanks again for watching, and it'll probably be a couple days before I get back to putting this on. I might get this on tomorrow morning and check to see how the spark looks with this on. But that's about all I have time for tomorrow morning, if I even have time for that, because I have a lot of other things I got to take care of. So once again, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Bye.